Hello and welcome to the BeDoKnit podcast. My name is Amy and this is my podcast where I talk about my knitting and all things knitting related. We are in the Advent season, and in the knitting world that means there's a lot of Vlogmas episodes. I started my podcast by doing Vlogmas episodes, and I haven't done it because it is a lot of work, and my day job gets really busy at this time of year. So it's kind of a hard thing to try to do, to make a video every single day because, you know, it's just a lot of work. So anyway, I thought one of the viewers asked if I would do Vlogmas again, and I am not going to do it, but obviously it's day 7. But I thought I could do a few weeks of Advent. So I think the first week of Advent was last week. So maybe I'll do weeks 2, 3, and 4. And then I'll show you the Advent yarns that I've gotten and just kind of give you an update on what's going on here as I prepare for the holidays. So first things first, I have a FO right here. And then I have a really special work in progress, and it's a gift knit. And then what else? I have Advent yarn that I purchased from Chelsea Yarns. And then I bought a cardigan jacket's worth of yarn from the Woolly Mammoth in Ireland, Northern Ireland. So she does a shop update every year, and the last 2 times I've purchased yarn. Now, there's more to the story, but she has an indigo vat, and she's been dyeing indigo yarn, and I've been obsessed with it. So I was just eagerly awaiting that that shop update. So that's what's in store today. If you are someone who doesn't like to, hear the personal update or look at the acquisitions and that kind of thing, there are timestamps in this video. So if you just look at the timestamps, and you can jump ahead to whatever section you want to watch. And I will jump right to the knitting because that's what I know most of you are here for. So that said, I'll start with what I'm wearing. So what I'm wearing is my book club cardigan by Sari Nordlund. So I did the book club cardigan cal that was put on by Enzo Knits, Nestled Knits, and Sig Knits from 2 Pearls in a Pod. So this is my book club cardigan, and it is so awesome. I've talked about it ad nauseum in other episodes, so I won't get too far into it, but basically I held a sport weight yarn plus a mohair, and so it is really warm and just really, I don't know, just so soft and lovely in the winter. And this is probably my garment I'm most proud of because of all the cabling. It has a European construction where you start at this back shoulder and make kind of a trapezoid, go over the shoulder, all over cable work. It was really a feat. And it took me like 8 months. I don't know, something like that. So, and then this double knit button band, these tortoiseshell buttons, I just love. And all the cables, I mean, look at that. And this yarn was perfect. This was a yarn I picked up from Harvest Hill Acres at a yarn festival here in Minnesota. And this is from Flynn the sheep, and I got to meet Flynn. You can check out my episode back in May. But anyway, that is what I'm wearing. Sari Nordlund. I got to meet her at Rhinebeck. It was amazing. So this is one of my favorite things to put on. First of all, because it's a cardigan. I don't know about you guys, but I get so hot in knitwear and I don't like things up at my neck. And so I just need to make cardigans, full stop. Like that should be my go-to garment knitting because I like to be able to take it on and off, and if it gets too hot, and just like kind of open it up a little and get a little air. So anyway, that's going to be my new thing, is just cardigans. So the other thing is my finished object. So this is Andrea Mowry's framed sweater. And I started making this to prepare for Rhinebeck. I was thinking I would wear it at Rhinebeck, and I just didn't get it done. It was kind of like at the vest stage, like right here. Maybe I'll wear this for the next episode so you can see it on, but it wound up being pretty snug because my gauge was off. So I didn't love that. It's also really a cropped sweater. Now, I didn't even measure. I should measure what it is, but I wound up adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't remember if hers has 5 or 6 pattern repeats, but I added 3 or 4 of the pattern repeats because my gauge was way off. My gauge was 24 stitches and 28 rows, and hers was 21 stitches and 24 rows. So that's pretty far off. When you know, consider the magnitude, like the width of the whole sweater and everything. So anyway, I was off. It's supposed to have 10 inches of positive ease. It basically has 0 to maybe 1 inch of ease. So it's a snug fit, and I'll show you next week when I wear it. But I love the yarn that I used in the body. So Spin Cycle is the color changing yarn, and I did 2 color changing yarns. I did Salty Dog is the yellow, and then the other one is Shades of Earth in Dream State, I believe. Spin Cycle, whatever the pattern calls for. And Andrea Mowry did Shades of Earth, but I like that Salty Dog, and I like the every other decision to go yellow and then the color changing. So that's pretty cool. And then I did the framed part in Jamieson's Shetland Spindrift. And I kind of regret that choice, just because I wish I would have used, I don't know, like the Sandus Garden Double Sunday, or I don't know, something else, because this yarn is pretty toothy. And when I say toothy, I mean itchy. So it comes up on my neck, like right here, and it's a little itchy right at the neck. And then because I didn't make it, I wanted 10 inches of positive ease, because it wound up with like 1 inch of positive ease. It's just snug and itchy, and it's okay. I get used to it, and maybe if I wear a shirt under it, I can manage it, but I haven't worn it yet because of those reasons. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw I did some yarn surgery. So you can see it starts with Shades of Earth. Well, I started it right here, actually, right there. This is kind of how, and there was even an extra chart, worked by me here, like I think at the top. But I started with this mustard yellow color. I got all the way done, sleeves, everything. And then I came back to the body and I cut out, I think I just cut out the hem. Yeah, I cut out the hem, and I just did a whole new hem because I had extra yarn of the Stonewash Jamieson of Shetland, or the Shetland Spindrift. And I did 2 additional rows of the chart. So 2 of these star repeats. And this one is all Shades of Earth, but then this one is Salty Dog and Shades of Earth. So I just like did half a row of Salty Dog, and then I switched to Shades of Earth because it was going to go into the yellow again, and I needed to get that darker color in there. So I think I thought I would just do 1 more pattern repeat and then jump to this one, and then I tried it on and I'm like, no, I need 1 more. So that was my solution, is to do half a star of yellow and then half a star of the dark. And I don't think you can tell really. I think it still looks striped, and it still looks fine, especially from a distance. I mean, yeah, it's totally fine. But that's kind of how that worked. And even in Shades of Earth, there is the kind of yellowy mustard color. So it works. Anyway, so that is the framed sweater. And like I said, I'll wear it next week. And I think the reason I got off with my gauge is twofold. First of all, this is my gauge swatch. I used a Rowan Superwash merino yarn for the white originally. And you can see it's quite a bit more white. This is like a, this is like a natural sheepy kind of yarn. And actually, it wasn't this one. It was Piglet and Angel, which I don't have here on me, but it was 2 different sheep from Harvest Hill Acres and held together. And their names of the sheep are Piglet and Angel. And combined, it was that yarn color, which is kind of more of like an off-white. And it felt a little better with those colors than they really stood out and were stark contrast with this white superwash. And it was superwash, and I kind of wanted to have a sheep wool in this. So anyway, yeah, so that's the first issue with my swatch. The second issue is that because this is knit in the round, I did my swatch in the round, but then you know how you do a swatch in the round where you do the front part and then you just let the yarn kind of pull the yarn in the back, and then so you can keep going in the round, but you're not making anything in the back. It's all like all these frayed bits would have been attached. And then after I was done, I cut those frayed bits so I could get a good flat swatch. I don't think that's a great method because it's not truly what you would get, I don't think. Because it depends on the tension of that yarn, and I don't know. I think that the tension is tighter, or it's like pulled in more when it's in the round than knitting it like this and then cutting those yarns in the back. Maybe I needed to keep those yarns like that. I don't know. Maybe just make a swatch in the round if you really want a good estimate, or like a good, I was going to say gauge on your gauge. If you want a good gauge swatch, like I think you got to just gauge in the round. So anyway, that is the deal with the swatch and why my gauge was off. Oh well, maybe somebody will get this someday, but I'm not ready to let it go quite yet. I have another whip. So I get so off track. I have another whip, and this whip is I'm using my leftover yarn from this cardigan, and this is CVM Romeldale and Angora goat, like mixed together. It's called Wild Barn yarn. Harvest Hill Acres has like the yarn brand. It's like called Wild Barn yarn from Harvest Hill Acres, because she likes to mix, as you can see, like Piglet and Angel for this one. She mixed those sheep's, wool together to make that yarn colorway. And then for this one, she mixed together CVM Romeldale and Angora goat together. So it's like mohair wool combo. And then I held it with mohair. So this, I'm not holding it with mohair. I'm just using the yarn as is, which is CVM Romeldale and Angora. Or mohair. Sorry, not. Yeah, Angora goat. No. I don't know. It's got mohair in it. I always get that messed up. But anyway, so this yarn is what I'm using. And this pattern is from Purl Soho. And these are fingerless mitts that I'm making for my boss. I don't think she watches this, so she's not going to see it or know. There's no chance she's watching this. So anyway, I'm making her these fingerless mitts. And they are from Purl Soho. I'm almost done, as you can see. The thumb is so good. It's like you knit to a certain point, make the increase, knit 2, increase, and then knit again. So it's this really nice shape on the thumb where those increases are. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, it's ribbed in the back, 2x2 rib in the back, and then these traveling cables. So the pattern, you know, Purl Soho has free patterns on their site. So this pattern is called the Traveling Cable Hand Warmers on Purl Soho. So I just use my own yarn and I use their pattern. I buy a lot of Purl Soho yarn, so I don't feel bad not buying yarn for this, but it's perfect for this. I mean, I bought this yarn to make a cable knit sweater, so it's just perfect for these. And it's not held with mohair, so it's not super fluffy, but I just think it's going to be perfect for my boss for Christmas. I hope she loves them. So anyway, I made this one Thanksgiving weekend, and that I've been making this one ever since. So just like nights and weekends. And yeah, I'm almost done. So that's awesome. And you know, as I'm using this yarn, you can see like little earthy bits in there. So I just pull them out as I get to them, like little straw and things like that. I used to be afraid that was moths, but it's not. You know, it's just sheep stuff, vegetable matter. So anyway, those are that's my FO and my whip. And then I have a couple other whips that I'm working on. I'm still working on this half and half triangle wrap. And this is a good project because it's just straight up knitting to take in the car or when I go to the nail salon or something like that. When I'm getting a pedicure, I just bring this and knit on it. So that is slow going, but still making progress. Then the other thing is that I was making a ranunculus for my mom. So she started to make it and then I took it over and something crazy happened, which is I thought I started, so the beginning of round is right here, but the beginning of round and it should be in the middle of the back, I believe. And what happened is I did the short row shaping on the back, and then there's short row shaping in the front, but I didn't do that for my mom because I did it on mine and I was like, I could use the room. Like I like a neck to be down. I don't want it like hitting my neck actually, you know? So I was like, my mom won't want that either. I know her. And so I didn't do the short row shaping in the front. As you can see, it just goes right into the pattern. But because I thought this was the middle back where the beginning of round is here, where this, you know, where it started, and I must have somehow did the short row shaping, or my mom did, I don't know, incorrectly. So, but I'm fine with where it is. But I had to put these stitch markers there. So basically I got pretty far down on I did the whole yoke and then I was doing the body and I noticed that the back short row shaping was like over a sleeve. And so that was just not going to work. So I needed to get that short row shaping on the back and then mark the front and back with these stitch markers. And I even started doing it again. You guys, I don't know what is going on with this brain. It's like menopause brain. I don't know. I ripped all the way back and I started doing it again. And like right after the yoke, like before you separate for sleeves. I probably did like an inch again wrong before I put these 2 stitch markers up here. I'm like, that's the whole reason you rip back. Amy, what are you doing? So anyway, I finally got it right. And now I'm off to the races. And I split for sleeves. And now I just need to keep rolling. So yeah, slow moving on this, but hopefully once I get done with these mittens, I will finish this for my mom for Christmas. Because, you know, Christmas is coming. Christmas is a-coming, it's a-coming. So yeah, that is happening. I got to finish that. And when I hit the new year, I will be updating my patterns. So I don't even know for a couple months if I'll do podcasts. Maybe I will, and I'll just bring you along on updating my patterns. I'm going to have to re-knit them, a new sample, and maybe I'll see if anybody wants to knit I'll probably open them up for test knitting. So I think I'll start with my most popular pattern, which is the Easy Ease. And then from there, after Easy Ease, I'll probably do Slouchy next. And then the tank top, because the tank top, I want to get that ready for summer. But yeah, I'm going to dive in during the Christmas break. I'm going to dive into the videos that I need to still watch from Sister Mountain. I'm on like the module where you start grading, and I just freaked out and stopped watching. You guys, writing knitting patterns is very hard. It's not easy. It's not easy, okay? So I think now I feel like I'm in a good place, but I want to see how other people do it. That's why I took this class. But like when I first started, I need to fix these patterns and make them more size inclusive and all the things, but I can just make them better now because I'm a better knitter and because I've written patterns and I know how to do it better. So that is happening. So then I will jump to really quick. I bought Chelsea Yarns Advent Calendar this year. And so it has been really fun. I'll show you really quick. First of all, I got the box in the mail and it had this these cute stickers all over the place. The theme of it is a London Christmas. And so, or a London holiday, it says. So how cute. I'm obsessed with England. I used to live in England and this is going to age me, but 94, 95, I went to college in Birmingham, England, and I went to the University of Central England in 94, 95, my sophomore year of college. And I went to school for theater, and so I went with a couple of theater friends, and we all, like 4 of us from the theater department at UMD in Duluth, Minnesota, we all went on the England program, and it was a blast. So, my friend Henny is one of them. You maybe met her in Vlogmas if you watched that. So anyway, they included a favorite recipe of theirs for cookie recipe, and then there is a pattern that went with it. It's called the London Wrap. And there was a code on here like that I could use to make the wrap. So that's pretty fun. And I don't know if I'm going to make it yet. I'm kind of waiting to like see it. And then I'll decide if I want to make it or not. So, and then every day there's a new theme, a London themed inspiration for that yarn dye. So this is the card that you get with the Advent calendar. And every day, you open up a little bag and they're all numbered. And there were a couple of little stickers in there too. Here's this one, London. These little guards from the palace. Another little sticker. So yeah, those were really fun. And then I love having this card. My husband's yelling because of football, sorry. They must have scored a touchdown. So it says high tea for day 1. And then I have been opening these. It's so fun. I even got this thing, but I haven't figured it out yet. It looks like a stitch counter. The Knit and Crochet Kit. Oh, you know what? I'm just realizing. Yes, there's a scissors. There's a scissors in here. Oh my gosh, so funny. I had no idea until this podcast. There's a scissors in there. Yeah, you open up the back of this thing and there's all these stitch markers. There's even, oh my goodness. I did not know this, you guys. I was like, what is this thing? A stitch counter? There's a little stitch holder. a bunch of stitch markers. Oh my gosh, so cute. These little king, like crown stitch stoppers. How cute is that? And then there's a tapestry needle. There's just everything you could possibly want back there. Adorable. So that is so, so fun. So it's called the Knit and Crochet Kit. So cute. And then the scissors just pop back down like this, I guess. How do you get them back in there? Just like that. They just pop back together. You guys, that is hilarious. I've been sitting looking at that thing like, what is this thing? So yeah, it says all the things on the back, what's in there. You know, I just started knitting and I couldn't figure it out right away. But then there is a stitch counter at the top too for 3 different things. Like if you're counting, yeah, you got several things going on, which, you know, sometimes we do. So anyway, okay, so I will show you the yarn. So the first one is this one here, and then it goes like that. Okay, so the first one is High Tea, and then the Thames, which is the river rolling through London, Chelsea, and then the fourth one is Hyde Park. So 1, 2, 3, 4, this one, Hyde Park. Maybe that's after like cherry blossoms or something in the spring. I don't know. Number 5 is King's Road, and number 6 is Changing of the Guard. So that's this one. And then 7, which is today's, is Mince Pie. So yeah, those are all my Chelsea yarns, Advent yarns for the week. This little basket's kind of perfect to hold them, so I might do that every week. And update you guys on those yarns. So that's the Advent. Like I said, I haven't started the pattern that goes along with that Advent calendar, but perhaps I will. I'm waiting to see what it looks like after Christina's done with hers. Oh, and I wanted to just say, like, are you guys watching Vlogmas? Because I love watching Chelsea Yarns Vlogmas. It's like my favorite one. So it's just, they just joke about the minutia that they're talking about. They're like, you can follow our Vlogmas. We're really just kind of doing our life. You know, so they're like going to the gym, saying good morning to the chickens in the morning. Christina brings them bananas and rice and whatever. There's a rooster and then there's chickens in another coop, 2 coops. And her dog runs out there. His name's Gretzky. And they just make me laugh. And I don't know. I just love watching. And she has a lot of Advent calendars that she's opening. So at the end, she opens all her Advents and then she's like, good night. I don't know. It's just something satisfying about it. So I love watching their Vlogmas. And then I've also been watching Sari Nordlund. She did this last year too. I don't know how many years she's done this, but she'll like really go in depth on one of her favorite patterns from the year. And then she'll talk about it and you get this discount on that pattern. And there's like 24 hours where you can purchase that pattern at a discount. So every single day she's talking about a new one of her patterns or a different pattern of hers and going into the, you know, like details of some of it is like why she named it a certain thing and what yarns she's using. And it's just really great. I think I wound up buying 3/4 of her patterns last year when I watched. This year, I'm not going to buy any because that was crazy town. But you know, they're like $5 with a discount, something like that, $5-6. I don't know. And so I was like, you know what? It was just really fun to watch. And so, yeah, that's a fun one to watch. And then Arnie and Carlos, they are doing every Sunday, they're doing a podcast, kind of like what I'm doing, but they did one last weekend. And then a Homespun House, I'm a Patreon, so I always see all of her episodes anyway. And then, you know, I just watched, I think, episode 1 of Jen Geigley's today. So I'll probably get caught up on all the Vlogmas over the Christmas break, but things are busy at work. So that's what I did for now. And then I have a hashtag on my Instagram that is today's Knitspiration. So I am always looking at patterns and seeing, like, being inspired obviously by other people's patterns, and, you know, being inspired to knit them and adding them to my Ravelry and that kind of thing. So I thought I would just share a few of the patterns that I've been inspired by lately. So the first one is, the first one is Crayola. So if you watch La Bien-Aimée, she and Julia, one of her employees, they do a podcast together. And Julia just made a Crayola cardigan. That thing is amazing. It has a collar. It's like oversized. It's got this collar, and which kind of goes up. I don't know. There's something about it. I'll pop a picture up, and it has a little ruffle sleeve on it. It's just a really cool construction, cool cardigan. Check it out. And I think it's part of a booklet. So you might have to buy the booklet to get the pattern. I'm not sure, but check it out on Ravelry. Maybe I'll make a bundle of all these patterns that I'm bringing up today. Today's knitspiration. Then there's the Ridge sweater by Sandnes Garn. It reminds me of the one I'm going to make. It reminds me of the Norma sweater a little bit. It's just, you know, it's got a stripe of color work, but it's really good. And that one is by Sandnes Garn, like I said. Then there's the sailor slippers. These are just so cute. I feel like it would be a really great gift knit for the holidays. I don't know if you could pound it out between now and Christmas, but man, those would be so cute to give to someone or just to make for yourself. Those are really cute. They're by Annie Germain. And then I came across, I don't know if I've shared this one yet. I know I shared it with Gina, because she's a crocheter versus a knitter. And this is a crochet garment, but it's called the Waffle Dolman Pullover by Pierrot Yarns. And it's crochet. It looks knit to me. And I love that dolman sleeve so much. I don't like things tight, so like I love a good dolman. So anyway, that one looks incredible. It might be a really old pattern. I don't know. I just thought it was so good. Stripe Pipe by Kudavakika, and her name is Veronica Lindberg, but her Instagram handle is Kudavakika, and I think she's Kudavakika on YouTube too. Here is my favorite thing. You guys, you have got to go watch Kudavakika and Sari Nordlund. If you go to one of their YouTube channels, you will see they started doing a podcast together. I mean, Veronica Lindberg from Kudavakika, she's got like 256,000 followers. So she's very popular. And Sari Nordlund is too. She's got like 150 something thousand followers. So like they are big. They're one of the big knitwear designers in the world, you know, and they both live in Finland, and I think they both live in Helsinki. And so they get together and have coffee and knit and chat and whatever. And they're like, why don't we both do podcasts. Why don't we do one together? So they are monthly putting out a new podcast together, showing like 2 of their patterns that they're working on right now. It is so good. It is so good. It's my new favorite thing. So check it out. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So that is, so the Stripe Pipe, this came out like a couple years ago, but I love this sweater so much. And every time I see it, I'm like, I want to make that sweater. So yeah, Veronica Lindberg. Then the Dagmar jacket by Petite Knit. Now, I told you earlier on last month, I was waiting for the shop update from a woolly mammoth because she does this indigo yarn dyeing. And she lives in Northern Ireland. She and her husband have this cool kind of like cottagey but modern house. And she grows flowers in her garden and then uses those flowers to dye her yarn with. Then now she has this big vat of indigo that she's like, you know, dipping yarn into and has indigo yarn. So the color that I really wanted was this. And I don't know if it's called like Midnight. Look at that yarn. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous, right? So her yarn update happened at like 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is where I am, you know, whatever that is in Ireland. And I set 2 alarms. I set a reminder on my calendar at work because it's in the middle of my work day. I set reminders, whatever. And then I got busy doing something with work. Something happened and I was like, oh, and I was like trying to like work something out. And then I realized it was 8 minutes after 2 o'clock. And I was like, I missed the shop update. Like it was 8 minutes. That means it's pretty much all this is going to be gone. And it was. There were 3 skeins of this left, but not enough for a garment. And I was like, I really want a garment. And so there was of more of kind of like a jean, like it's still indigo dye, but it's like stone washy kind of look, or it's like faded. So, or kind of a gray blue. This is what I got. 9 skeins to make the Dagmar jacket. Dagmar jacket. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So the Dagmar jacket is Aran weight, approximately. And this is DK weight. And this is the Hearth DK from a woolly, it's not a woolly mammoth, it's woolly mammoth. Hearth DK. You should watch her podcast, by the way. She's amazing. If you don't already, maybe you already do. Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co. So Hearth DK, and it is 240 meters for this, 100 gram skein, DK weight, 50% Jacob, 50% BFL, 100% wool, sourced, spun, and made in the UK. Fibre origin UK, dyed in Northern Ireland, colorway indigo number 3. So there was indigo number 1, 2, 3. And the first one was that brightest one. And this is the third one. So it's still absolutely gorgeous, right? So, and it's kind of like more steely blue than this is pretty bright, you know? So, you know, I like bright colors, but I think this will be really pretty too, especially for the jacket. And maybe what I thought is, because this is DK and I need to get an Aran weight, that maybe I would buy either mohair or I should probably get Surrey. Get some Surrey that is a brighter blue, and it would kind of like meet in the middle to be a color that maybe I want more. So I bought some mohair in this color from her last year, and I think I only got 5 skeins, so I'm gonna have to look at the yardage because I did buy 9 skeins of this. I feel like it's not gonna be enough. So I'll have to go, maybe I'll go to the yarnery and check out, or go to, I haven't been to Dandelion Fiber yet in Minneapolis, and I really want to go. So maybe I'll do that and look for a Surrey or a mohair that's kind of brighter like this, or maybe even Fibre MacGyver. So that is going to happen. Now, it looks a little brighter even online or on the camera than it is in real life. But then with that Dagmar jacket, it's a petite knit jacket. It's gorgeous. Here are the toggle buttons I bought at Rhinebeck. Aren't those going to be perfect with this? Oh my gosh. So that is pretty exciting. I need to update my patterns, but I might cast that on. Who knows? I can't get obsessed with it. I've got to update my patterns. I have to do that next. So that's that. Then I also, when I was at Rhinebeck, all these knitters had this knit cap from DEGEN that just says knit on the top. And I really liked the one that was like charcoal gray with it. And Jen Geigley had that one. But then I went online and I saw one in Kelly green with the knit. I'll go get it. So here it is. Check that thing out. It is awesome. I love it so much. I'm a huge fan of Kelly green. So this is DEGEN. Love it so much. So if you have a knitter, well, if you're watching this, you're probably a knitter. But if you want one of these, DEGEN, DEGEN is the name of the maker. So love that. And then what else? I think that's about it. You know, when I'm watching Chelsea Yarns, she's using this amazing pen, and I can't recommend it enough. I bought it last year after watching her podcast. It writes so perfectly. It's called the Sharpie Gel Pen. It's copper. It's called the Sharpie S-Gel Pen, and it comes with refills in it. So, highly recommend this thing. So good if you're someone who likes pens. And then, real quick, I was at Darn Knit Anyway in Stillwater, Minnesota. I met up with my sisters. This year at Thanksgiving, we were with my mother-in-law, and then we kind of like trade off every year, so we're not trying to do two things in one day, two families in one day. But my sister from Omaha was up here, Vicky, and she turns 60 next year, next November. And so we're thinking about my two sisters, Marianne and Vicky, and I going to Rhinebeck together next year. That could be so fun. So I got to get with them and see, because like we should book our Airbnb soon because they book up fast. But anyway, I was at Darn Knit Anyway. We went out to eat at Lolo in Stillwater, and then we went over to Darn Knit Anyway, and I got this book because when I saw Sari at Rhinebeck, I don't know if she sold out of this book. I didn't see this one. I saw the other one, and I didn't have that one either, so I got that one, but I wanted this one. It's her Summer Knits book, which is so exciting. I love that pattern on the front, and look at that water. Oh, it looks so dreamy right now. Anyway, and I just love these European settings that she takes these photos by these big architectural buildings and structures and sculptures. So it just really makes the knitwear pop. But anyway, gorgeous book. Can't wait to look into that and pick out something for the summer. And then because I'm on this knitwear design learning journey, I bought Coco Knits Sweater Workshop. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. Oh, I wasn't even done with, I still have I have one more pattern that I wanted to share. The last pattern that I want to share with you today is the Daunen Mittens. So the Daunen Mittens are by Julia Wilkins, and it's requires DK weight yarn. I think what she did is used mohair and fingering to get this nice halo, but her mittens are so good. I'll pop up a picture. Oh my gosh, I can see a blue jay out my window, and he's really pretty. So anyway, those were a couple of acquisitions. And then last but not least, I told you the Vlogmas episodes I'm watching. And then my husband and I just started watching, I don't know if we finished watching The Beast in Me. It has Claire Danes in it. She was in Homeland. Anyway, sometimes she drives me nuts with that lip quiver. She's always crying, it seems like. But with all of her characters, she always plays these super complex characters, and she's always very emotional and crying, but which is fine. But like this, yeah. So that is a really good show. It's really suspenseful. And then I am reading book on tape reading, so really listening to Outlander, because I want to get through the series, but the books are like 1,000 pages each, and it's just like really hard. It's a slog to get through, and she really over describes everything. And so I'm like, you know what? I can listen to that while I'm doing the dishes, making dinner, driving to work, going to bed at night, like I can while I'm knitting. So there's lots of opportunity, and I do want to get through it and then watch all the shows. So yeah, I'm getting through those, but then I also, this year, I've really dove deep into reading. My mother-in-law's favorite author is Ann Tyler. Mine is Anne Lamott. Hers is Ann Tyler, and Ann Tyler is such a good writer. She's like a writer for writers. I mean, I can't imagine anyone not liking an Ann Tyler book. I mean, they're just so good. So anyway, Ann Tyler, she's an incredible fiction writer, and she has a lot of books. So I've read a lot of them, and I pick them up in little free libraries in my neighborhood, but I ran out and I was like, okay, I need to either buy. So I went to Half Price Books and I bought 14 copies at like half price, like really steep discount. I tried to get hardcovers when I could, but got paperback. I bought the remaining 14 that I haven't read by her for under $200. And like they all came in the mail this week. I have this huge stack of Ann Tyler books. So I'm super excited to dig into those. If you haven't read something by Ann Tyler, I highly recommend. It's like it's always like complex family, almost drama, or I don't know. She really gets to the inner workings of the human being, like the human experience. So I would just say, check it out. She's good. She's really good. So anyway, I hope you all have something wonderful on your needles. I'll say my favorite tool that I've been using of late is my Lumos lights. These things are incredible and I cannot recommend them enough. When I'm sitting watching TV with my husband, I have 2 lamps by me because I'm like always trying to get more light. And then I even put these on because I just need a little more in order to see even a light, project like this. It's just so much better and easier to see with these lights on. So I know Jen Geigley and Brienne Moody are affiliates for this little light. So it doesn't mean you pay more. They just get a little kickback. So if you like either one of them, you could check out their affiliate link via their Instagram or YouTube or something like that. So hope you have a good rest of your week and I will see you next week. Bye.